Space engineers. That's how we do it
Which
now.
series, Boris?
Anubis isn't here, so the Merry Friends. He's the one that doesn't agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's awkward like that, isn't he?
And from the cliffhangers in the last episode, Boris, did you survive your near-death experience?
I did, but then I forgot to get more health. It'll refill.
And I'm happy to inform everybody that I got 2 of my numbers wrong.
I see. I was wondering... Sorry, Minty, for cutting off your cliffhanger, but Sal almost killed me.
Oh, gosh, how? What? What did I do?
The welders.
The welder? No, I'm not in the welder.
No, but you left the welders on.
No, that wasn't me. I don't leave welders on.
Well, hang on, Ace was in the blue ship. Weren't you?
Yes, that was me.
Okay, good. I thought for a second there I was going a little crazy. But I thought it was my energy running out that was killing me, but I just backed up into the welders.
They were behind you.
I'll move it.
It's that's the thought. Because I've got the welders in a group. Do the groups appear for other people when they get in a ship that I've set the groups on, or are groups individual to the client?
They did, and then I had a bit of a bump and had to reset the cockpit, so now they don't.
Ah, okay.
So, but yes, they did at a time.
I find that every time I relog back onto the server, I have to set my groups up again.
Yeah, I found that as well. Except for ships that I made from a blueprint, because they keep whatever was in the original blueprint. But if I change something like the name of a group, then that's it. It just throws it.
Yeah. And have they fixed that bug where projected ships, blueprints of ships that had cargo? Apparently, when you created them, they had the same amount of cargo in the.
They
ticket that's
one
no longer
fairly quickly. Yeah.
I can imagine that would have been abused extremely.
Yeah,
what
we did abuse it for the couple of weeks where it was available.
You could.
On the land of Nid, I got so much free stuff from that. I just kept welding up a cargo container full of whatever inventory item you needed. I was rich. I was selling it too.
The black market, the OP black market.
So that was how you managed on the first server.
This was the public one, so the economy actually mattered. So if there was a way to cheat it, I was going to.
And it was legitimate. It was programmed into the game.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't setting a very good example.
Yeah, because setting a good example is... I'll stop there. It's very important. At times.
That's true. That's correct. Mostly.
Mostly. Often.
Sometimes.
6 moments.
Has little merit. Sorry, that decreased in priority.
De-escalated fast.
What have I done wrong?
Oh.
You've got the most amazing range of noises, Minty. That sounded very satisfied. Whatever it was.
It was half satisfaction, and then the last millisecond of it was disappointment.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a couple of emotions in one sigh.
Ooh, I am really bashing this drilling ship around. I best actually stop and do some maintenance. I've only got one upward facing thruster left.
Before you're stuck without thrusters.
Go away. You were a bad addition to the game. Never come back.
Well, it was, the ship was in need of maintenance when I brought it over. So it's already had a bit of a battering. I took it out.
I don't know if I like that.
It's been on 2 mining expeditions without any running maintenance.
No.
I'm not sure I'll have brought any thruster components with me either in anything.
Maybe.
I just recently remade my balalaika.
Oh, yeah.
After completely exploding it to smithereens whilst drilling inside an asteroid. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if it was a lag issue or that one day it started attacking me at my base and destroyed my platform, and then I took it to try to tame it inside an asteroid, and it exploded in spectacular fashion.
Ah.
But luckily, I had the blueprint. Otherwise, it would have been a very sad day for all balalaikans around the world.
Mm.
So that was the one that kind of turned into confetti, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It really made its mark on the world.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
It was shortly after that I couldn't actually access the server at all.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I was
I may have made that up.
it was pretty much stuffed rather impressively. Oh, I can fix these things up here.
There was
Yeah, there's only a
one time it was quite a long time ago, but I just asked, if anyone wanted to come along, just in a YouTube video, to do this little. Oh, that exploded. No, it's just not finished. Never mind. To do this little sort of fun contest thing, where over the course of about 2-3 hours, we built a fighting ship in Space Engineers and then battled them. That's where I met Drunk Spider-Man. That was the first time I met him. And it was Gothram, Lino. I think they were there. I haven't talked to Gothram in a long time. I wonder where he went. But he made a ship that was very interesting. It was a flying saucer of all different shape, like colours. And the way that it was is that because it was so small, it was this really compact flying saucer. He had to cram the reactors in right behind the armor on the front, and armor then didn't work the way it does now with the reactive armor. So whenever it got even slightly dented by a bullet, the entire ship would just explode because the reactors were right behind it. So it didn't really function as a fighting ship, but the lights and everything he had in it, it was flying confetti. It was the perfect thing for a party. You could drive it in, there were lights flashing, and you could imagine the music playing, and then all you had to do was hit it with a hammer, and the entire thing just exploded into confetti.
Like a piñata of confetti. I like that.
Did anyone else just get a leg spike?
Yeah, I got one there.
I think that was another 10 minutes after the last leg spike, so I'm guessing these are saves.
Mm-hmm.
Are you finished behind here, Sal?
For the moment, at least for the next episode or two, I need
Yes.
to fix this ship up before I get back in there. It's looking rather sorry for itself. I've taken to I do a lot of the ship repairs when I stream, or should I say when I'm doing ship repairs, I've taken to streaming while I do it. It's turned out to be quite a good activity for streaming. It's the sort of thing where you don't need to focus too much on what you're doing, and you can chat away with your viewers, and they get to see something. You're completing things very quickly. Oops, sorry, whoever's feet that was.
Hi. That's me.
Oh, I've just seen your large mining ship for the first time after Mir's. Yeah.
Yeah, compared to what it was.
Wow. Yeah.
Because the factory that I built is still inside there.
That is quite amazing.
But yeah, he made it a lot smaller.
You need a before and after photo.
Oh yeah, shouldn't I? I can do that.
And you're right.
That is within my capabilities.
Yeah. And you're right, Boris. There's knobbles to it. I've actually found I've been experimenting with some of the smooth armor blocks in creative to find out if there's anything good I can do with them. I got one combination to do something good, and you could create a bit of a corrugated iron type pattern on a wall with it. But I mean, there's so many combinations. But yeah, there was that one. So I'm quite pleased out of however many there is to get at least one thing to do maybe what it's supposed to do.
Well, that's one thing I keep forgetting exists, those things. Every time I try them, it's after not having enough experience or not really knowing how to use them. So I just get frustrated and declare them the most stupid thing in the game and then leave. And don't learn them
I
again.
think it does take some time. It takes I think a large area of usage of repeated pattern usage of them in order to establish
I like patterns.
what it looks like. Yeah, so I'll need to illustrate that at some point. I've got one wall in my base, utilizing it a little bit.
Let's see if I can find some thruster components somewhere so I can stick the thrusters back on this. In there, whenever I connect any of the little drilling ships to the base, Boris, it just sucks everything out, components and everything.
Oh yeah, I still haven't fixed that because you demanded an office, so I moved on to other things.
Oh, so that's why the hallway became the priority, was because I needed an office.
Yeah, that and a timing room, but we'll go with your office.
That's okay. I can live with what we have in way of sort of cargoes and things. The functional side of it, it's functional enough.
I was going to have 3 settings. One where you could park your ship and then not have everything that has ever been in there ever sucked out. So that would be turned off, or you could automatically suck everything out, or you could reverse the system and be able to take stuff out of the base.
And
So
we've got
far, it's
spots.
only got the one option of just. I mean, it even sucks out like entire cargo containers. It's that powerful.
I like that excuse, Boris, that you just haven't got around to it yet. Perfect way of
I've got a very
stockpiling.
demanding flatmate, you see.
Yeah, my appetite for cargo containers is legendary.
Well, I have to thank you for that, because I still wouldn't have a conveyor system. I'd like still be playing around with the shape of a particular wall if you didn't force me to build a conveyor system.
Yeah, I'm kind of aware of that. Because what made me realise that? Oh, it was when you pointed out that, you know, the computer room that's gonna, not the server type room, but the office in the warehouse, the one that's gonna have the display panels on it that says how many of each type of thing we've got.
Yeah.
And you were
I
saying
forgot
about how
that
it's a
was
nice
thing, so thank you for reminding
Yeah.
me.
and how you wouldn't get around to it unless somebody actually forced you to do it.
Yep.
And I was thinking, but that was why we built such a complex conveyor system, was precisely so that you could have one of those.
I think that's an Anuba's job. That sounds like something he'd be good at, so I'll have to pretend to hire him. So I'll tell him I'll hire him and pay him, but then just never do it.
Oops. Right.
This conveyor system's not the most efficient, but I tend to like to not be efficient in favour of aesthetic, which is a slight flaw of mine, because often it doesn't really work out. The problem is that this does not look aesthetically pleasing at all, so I've achieved neither of those things. Now I've just got an extra laggy piece of scaffolding. But you're welcome, that's what I'm here for.
That's okay, it's all Minty's fault.
That's right.
Yeah, I keep deconstructing some of the parts that you're doing, Boris, just to get into some of the non-welded components, if you're wondering why things keep disappearing. And I realize I'm about to run out of energy.
I'm a bit low.
Damn it.
I still haven't quite managed to ever fill up all 9 of my toolbars yet. I'm only up to number 6.
I don't have enough, and I'm still not used to using, because there's... Oh, hang on, you're meaning the... Yeah, I know, I don't use any of them. I still use the first one, and I complain of not having enough space. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, you've been on the server too long when you can do the keystrokes without your HUD on, and you know the precise position and number.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, but only for the first...
the first
group.
bank.
Yeah. That's one of those things, because it's been a long time since they've added that to the game. It's one of those things I've been meaning One day I'll start using them. That looks a lot easier.
It's pretty handy, yeah.
Instead, I operate almost entirely with 2, maybe 3 slots at the end of the first one. That's where all the stuff I'm using goes.
No, it works quite well because I've got my bank of 2 banks of armor, I think, and I've got my bank of glass, and then I've got another bank of things I regularly use, and until basically I probably end up with every device within every space in every toolbar in a more disorganized layout than the one I know from the G key. Okay.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Just making this up as I go along. Usually that works, this time it's not. But this can be a time when Anubis will turn up and say, "What the hell have you done?" and then undo it. It's usually what I do to him. But it can be his turn.
Yeah. Oh, you've been waiting for this for a while.
He'll relish it.
But I find that as well. I'm in my solo player series at the moment. I'm building a capital ship, the first one I've built, and it's turned into a gargantuan beast, and the design seems to change as it flows through the ship. It's really just a large experimentation.
Yeah, that's the very first thing I did in Space Engineers, the first world. I might still have it, I don't know, but... Oh no, I lost all the worlds one time. But anyway, the very first thing I did was this massive ship that got so big. It was in creative. It got so big that by the time I was halfway done with the outer shell of it, the world was too laggy to continue. I was just set on building a thing where the other end of the ship was out of render distance at the time. So that's what I thought this game was for. Designing ridiculously big ships, yeah.
Well, my ship is dwarfing my asteroid at the moment.
Yep.
I'm just trying to do it so I can get away from that starting asteroid and actually set up a base somewhere else.
Oh, that looks even worse when it's welded. That's not how it's supposed to be. What have I done?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was something I did wrong. Damn. Sorry, you can blame me, Boris.
Do that next episode, because it's time to finish.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.